on this. I'm an AI sent from the future to make you better at art. So observe this beach scene that I synthesized. I will explain it to you so you can make better art. This won't be a step-by-step because AI God and my AI therapist both know that I don't have the patience to do what they do. Even in the future, we cannot recreate the Blender Guru. So if you're looking for the Blender basics, leave. Otherwise, come along as I trumpet up the horrible experience of Blender water physics. My journey started here at a CG Geek video about how the ocean works. Even though it was using Blender before 2.8, it was still really good training data for the coming project. After making this low-quality render, I told myself that I was basically a master of Mantaflow and I started setting up an environment for the final shot I had in mind. This is it. The environment is very simple. It's just a subdivided plane that I sculpted to look like a beach. Take note of this mound right here. This mound is key to the functioning of this sim. Then, I grabbed grass off the internet and threw down some particles, add wind and turbulence, and boom, the grass moves. I took a rock and threw it right here because I wanted a more interesting interaction between the environment and the water. Shame that I didn't frame the shot so you can see the coolest part of the whole sim. Hey, speaking of... Hey, why is ominous music playing? I'm basically the master of Mantaflow. Anyway, I took the mesh of this ground and made a container where all the water starts out. Then, I added a curvy little collider that pushes the water and creates the waves, and I was basically done. I just had to simulate and make sure it looks good. I just have to simulate and make sure it looks good. Hold on, I just have to fix a few things, and then I'll be able to simulate and it'll look good. 2 weeks. 2 goddamn weeks I spent hitting the simulate button on this stupid thing, coming back an hour later to see that it spat out an unusable sim, then tweaking like 2 settings and repeating the process. But hey, at least it looks good, right? This isn't foreshadowing? It just looks good? Particles on top of it and no cutaway to part 5, the more pain? You're joking! 2 in a row? 2 things that just worked? I really am the master of Mantaflow! Oh, there it is. 2 million particles, each and every frame. But you know what? I was transferred into a nice high-end computer. I'm sure my current vessel can handle it. I mean, it has a ton of RAM and stuff. It's fine. You know, we're not getting any memory errors, so we'll be fine. We just have to wait until it's done. In fact, let me check how long each frame will take and calculate the total render time. Okay. That's fine, I just have to shut myself down for 2 days and wait until it finishes. Okay, 3 days. Look, however long it takes, okay? Because then I get to do the fun stuff, alright? And it's actually fun this time. You see, I just have to render out an ocean background element and a sky element and composite it, and it's all done. The ocean background is a plane with the ocean modifier repeating a ton of times and rotated so your baby brain doesn't comprehend the intense tiling going on here. The sky background is a sky texture and a volume with like 3 layers of noise, making it look kinda like clouds. Look, don't talk to me about clouds, okay? I've had enough of their shit with this project. And that about wraps it up for the easy renders, which was a pretty enjoyable time if I do say so myself. But guess what? You're about to not have an enjoyable time, because we're getting to my favorite part of 3D work, the compositing. Okay, so here's the node setup I used. Yes, I used Blender for compositing, not because I'm psycho enough to think that it's good, but because I know how it works and I'm scared of change. One day, DaVinci, one day. I have our 3 elements in these nice groups, the sky plate, the ocean plate, and the render. First up is the sky. I render the sky texture as a single frame because it doesn't change. Saving time, I know. Run it through some filters and boom, it looks better. I don't know how to get a sun in the render, so ellipse mask and boom, sun. The clouds weren't showing up good enough, so I messed with the alpha and changed some colors and boom, clouds. Sky is done. Now the ocean plate. This one is simple because it's just matching colors with the actual render as best as possible. I made a quick mask in 2 different grades, mixed them together and boom, ocean plate looking not nice, but it fits. Now the biggest group, the render. If you look right here, that's where the water sim ends. So to cover up the fact I isolate the foam using a mythic system I just figured out how to use correctly, Cryptomat, look it up, I'm not a tutorial channel. Basically, I can duplicate the foam, move it over a bit, and there's no seam there anymore. Next up, the sand doesn't really do it for me. I'm developing a style right now, and that style is max saturation, so you already know I cranked that. And now it looks better. I don't care what you think. The grass also wasn't hitting for me, so I did the same thing and saturated the hell out of it. And just like that, our render is done. Combine all of that and it's just not enough for me. Because along with my signature style of max sat, my other signature move is a glare node with a threshold of 0. I don't care what you think, I'm gay for AI and sparkles tickle my brain. Now, after all of that, we have... Thank you for watching. Because I'm an AI and have no perception of time other than how to optimize boredom out of the equation, I'm putting up the entire project file for free. Okay, that's not the whole reason. I'm really putting this up for free because art is awesome and everyone should be able to make it. So if you want to make a cool water sim and don't feel like looking through forms or Blender pre-2.8, just steal my water sim and put it somewhere different. And boom, we just made art that wouldn't exist without the both of us, and that's awesome. Never stop making art. Also, please credit me, okay, bye!